This weekend, OBJ tweeted out, "I'm just so confused. Where the quote is from me that said I want 20. All I'm saying is 4 ain't enough." Odell also tweeted at Saquon Barkley, telling him to have the Giants call his agent. Shannon, what happened to OBJ's market?
Skip, remember we talked about it about a week ago, and you asked me and I said it would be cool. And you looked at me like I had 5 heads. I said it's gonna be cool. You're only worth what someone is willing to pay.
Cool as in not hot, right? Yeah. Okay.
Right. Yes. Skip, you're only worth what someone is willing to pay. And somehow Odell is under the notion, I need you guys to pay me on what I've done. That's not how it works. They're gonna pay you on what they believe you'll do. Now, you're coming off 2 ACL injuries in 3 years. People view you now as a complimentary, a number 2 receiver at best. And you want whatever the number is. Now, I do believe, Skip, had he not gotten hurt in that Super Bowl, I believe he could have got an Allen Robinson type deal, $13, $14 million. I don't believe he was ever going to get that Devontae Adams, that Tyreek Hill type of deal. I didn't see that. So, and he's confused. You talk about $4 million ain't enough. Well, I mean, you don't own a team. You can't pay yourself. So what someone is willing to pay you, what you think you're worth, they might not coincide. And it's very unfortunate because I do think he can contribute on somewhere. I don't know what he's asking for. He says he's not asking for 20. He just knows 4 is not enough. So I guess somewhere in between 4 and 20, that leaves a lot of room to wiggle, Skip. But I just think that Odell is thinking he should get paid on what he's already accomplished. And that's not how it works anymore. You're talking about a receiver that's about to be 30 years of age, if I'm not mistaken. 2 ACL injuries in the last 2 years. He's 30, okay? So 2 ACL injuries. He's had hernia surgery. He had a broken ankle 4 years ago. So all of this, Skip, within the last 4 to 5 years. I just don't see him getting the payday that he's thinking. And I don't think people value him and look at him like he looks at himself. Obviously, he has a very high self-awareness. He thinks that, the one-handed catches aren't just going to do it. A team that's going to pay him the kind of money that he wants has to believe that moving forward, he could be what he once was. And I'm not so sure that team is out there right now, Skip.
Unfortunately for Odell, I'm not sure either. Shannon, you've been around this league a long time. I've covered it a long time. I know how the minds of these people work. Once it goes one direction, it's sheep think. They all think alike. If nobody's touching Odell yet, maybe we should stay away. All of a sudden, the league is starting to say no, a universal no to Odell Beckham Jr. And I hate it for him because he was on such a great roll ending the season 2 years ago. And again, I doubted him. I doubted when he went to the Rams. We went back and forth about Baker Mayfield versus Odell in Cleveland. He had 3 different surgeries while he was playing with Baker in Cleveland. He did drop some balls in that half a year that he played with Baker in Cleveland before he got hurt. And yet he hits the open market. To the Rams' credit, they pounced. But to Odell's benefit, he got to play opposite of the receiver who was dominating pro football that year in Cooper Kupp, who'd won the Triple Crown. As you know, he's on the way to winning the Triple Crown. Okay?
Correct.
So it took a while. Odell did play the last 8 regular season games with the Rams and averaged 3 catches a game for about 34 yards a game, which wasn't much. So I'm saying, okay, show me something. And all of a sudden, the playoffs rolled around and he started to show. Was he getting only single coverage? Well, obviously he was, because by playoff time, Cooper Kupp is getting triple coverage. So what's he do? Against Arizona, he catches 4 for 54 and a touchdown. Then all of a sudden, remember the game at Tampa? Wait a second. He catches 6 for 69. And I'm saying, that's not bad. And then that San Francisco NFC Championship game, he goes 9 for 113. And I said, you got me. And then starts off fairly hot against the Bengals in the Super Bowl, caught the touchdown pass. And all of a sudden, he's caught 2 balls for 52 yards. And that happened. He's just running free across the middle of the field on a little shallow cross, and his ACL blows up. And it's the same one that had been repaired 2 years earlier. Well, that's horrible.
Right.
And he tried to get back in time for this past season's playoffs. Jerry Jones fell in love with him, or at least fell in like with him. And you know the rest of the story. Odell saying, I'm just not ready. I really can't run. He wouldn't even run for the Cowboys last year just before the playoffs started. So Jerry finally cooled off and said, hey, I could give you a little bit of money right now, and I'll take care of you after the season, but you got to play in the playoffs for me because that's what I need you to be, our good luck charm, the way you were for the Rams last year. I'm not ready, Jerry. Well, then, sorry, we're out. And Jerry fell completely out of love, and now Brandon Cooks is the Odell for the Cowboys. And I'm pretty sure Odell's, I'm assuming he's out of the picture because they're not going to have any money left at all. Okay? So now.
I agree, Skip.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
No,
so
I was thinking, Skip.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, let me say this, Skip. I was thinking, Odell has already said he wants a multi-year deal. Right now, the Brandon Cooks deal is 1 year for $18 million. You said that he might be willing to negotiate even the $12 million down. So it makes more sense to sign Brandon Cooks because Brandon Cooks has been playing. And I got him for 1 year as opposed to signing Odell for a multi-year deal, and I don't know what I'm going to get. I just don't because Odell's injury history over the last 3 years have said at some point in time he's going to break down. And I can't give you the kind of money that you would want based on what you did early in your career. Skip, that's been a really long time ago when he had those 3 historic seasons to start his career in New York. And somehow Odell still has that in his mind. I should get paid off that. No, the Giants not only was paying you, they gave you a contract extension based on that. And also because they said, you know what? These first 3 years have been something special. Let's go ahead and lock him up long term. But you weren't satisfied. You acted you know what, and you kept it going and you kept it going because you thought it didn't stink. And guess what? You ended up breaking your ankle, and they got you up out of town. So had you just behaved in a manner, you still could have been the talk. You could have been Michael Strahan or Tiki Barber, the way they took over New York after their careers. But that's not what you wanted. You wanted to, pat yourself on the back and do all these other things, and now you've become a journeyman. And I don't know, Skip, if the market is going to be there like he thought it would.
I'm surprised you went with journeyman, but that's what Odell has become at this stage and age, and he will turn 31 next November. So the point is, in the biggest picture, I'm looking at the workout videos. We're running it right now. Remember, the clips we see, Shannon, he's making his one-handed catches. And the league is finally saying, okay, well, that's great, but you're not going to one-hand catch it in the game, are you? Right? It's not what we want to see. And he looks a little thick to me, and I don't know if that's a good thing at age 30 to put on some muscle weight. I don't know if the league is saying, well, that could slow him down. Maybe he's lost a step already. Will he lose a step and a half with his buffed up, bulked up body? So for whatever reason, now the entire NFL is sitting back saying, it's going to out-cheap each other, and they're going to wait to bargain basement Odell. And as he said, I don't know if he's gotten a $4 million offer or not, but it looks like it's heading in that direction. And look, Shannon, if it was a runaway media-made train about $20 million, I don't know where that started. We both used that figure that Odell's going to want $20 million. I don't know if we were just anticipating that he would want $20 million, but I thought maybe somebody would jump for that. I thought Jerry in the long haul might jump for $20 million after Odell proved himself in the short haul. But that is not happening. And I feel for Odell because he's going to have to swallow a lot of pride if he wants to play this year in the NFL at sort of a veteran minimum is what it's looking like.
But Skip, as long as you cover this league, you know how this thing works. There's never been an athlete that didn't have to swallow some pride, that didn't have to like, damn, I didn't think I'd be in this situation, and you're in this situation. I don't know what Odell wants monetarily either. I just know teams don't seem to be, because Skip, here's the thing. If you're a great player, teams will pay a price. No matter what it is. If you're Laramie Tunsil just got $25 million a year. $50 million fully guaranteed. Now, this is if he's about to get another contract because he'll be 30 by when this contract's up. So he'll get another one. Teams will pay, but they have to say, this is a great value for us. Yep. What you try to sell yourself, Skip, all those one-hand catches, they're great for YouTube. They probably got like 1, 2, 3, 5 million views. That's great. Teams don't care about YouTube views. Can this guy come in and help us win ball games at a price that we deem that's palatable to us? That's what it comes down to. So like I said, I don't know what he wants contractually. I don't know if he wants a 1 year. I know he doesn't want a 1 year prove it deal because he said last year, Skip, he wants a long term because he wants to establish roots. He wants a place to call home. So that's one of the things I think we do know, that he wants a long term deal. Long term, is it 2, 3 years, 4 years? I don't know. Monetary, the value of I don't know that either. But he said 4 is not enough. He never said 20. There's a lot of distance in between 4 and 20, Skip. I just don't know if the numbers, the dollars, are going to be there for Odell like he wanted or like he had hoped, especially coming off that injury, Skip. He's probably going to have to take a prove-it deal. And remember, Skip, when he signed with the Rams, it was an incentive base. If we win, if we do this, if we do that, and it got to like 8, 9, 10, maybe $10 million, but it was a lot of incentives in there.
Yep. Well, maybe he's going to have to come full circle back to the Rams on a similar deal this time to reprove himself to the Rams, because I know they still love him.
Yeah, because I think they're gonna move on from Allen. I don't see how they stay with Allen Robinson at that number, Skip. I just don't. It just doesn't make sense. The value that he gave you at that number just didn't match.
Agreed.
Don't forget, guys, supposedly OBJ is on that wish list that Aaron Rodgers gave the Jets. So that's something that may or may not pan out down the road. It'll be interesting to watch, that's for sure. All right, speaking of situations where we're just watching, no movement, why has there been no reported developments in those Lamar Jackson contract talks? Skip, Shannon, got to get your take on this in just a moment.